You may have seen her on Comedy Central, Jay Leno, Conan, Jimmy Kimmel. When Maria Bamford steps onto the stage, pretty much nothing's off limits. And forget about being politically correct. She's fearless. Maria will be appearing on the new season of Arrested Development. I spoke with her earlier this year. Okay, you just finished the special.
Oh, yes.
Which one can buy on the internet.
On the internet, $4.99 at chill.com. I decided to do a comedy special, and I didn't want to go anywhere. And I just want, the people who I really genuinely want to please in my life are my parents, so why not go straight to the source. Did a hour-long stand-up special for my parents in my living room.
If you're this scenario, you lose everything, including your mind, except the part of your mind that knows that you lost everything.
They're the only audience members except for a sound man and the boom operator, and then there was a keyboard player, and there was the opening act, Miss Jackie Cation, and that was really helpful because, I don't want to go out there cold.
Not in front of your parents.
Not in front of my parents. And they were great. I have to say, full disclosure, I did pay my parents. So they are a paid audience. Kind of changes the...
It does change a lot.
But it was non-union, so...
So you released this only online?
Yes, only online.
How come?
Well, that was I think the business model, and inspired by Louis C.K. and Aziz Ansari and Rob Delaney and many others now, that instead of waiting to be asked to do an hour-long special on Showtime or Comedy Central or whatever, to just be able to do it yourself and hope that your fan base is big enough. And I'm a very niche comedian. I'm an orchid of comedy. Only under this certain environments does it, it's a little too cold. And I think it can really work for a lot of artists. Yeah, yes. I earned 3 times the amount that I would have earned from for example, a Comedy Central special within the first 2 weeks.
In your special, and in your comedy in general, you touch on some pretty raw issues, mental illness. Your mental illness.
That's my favorite topic of this time.
Well, I don't get it. Apparently she's supposed to be funny. I just think she is schizophrenic. Well, clearly that is not my mental illness. Schizophrenia is, of course, hearing voices, not doing voices. I am bipolar too.
I do, I just get really passionate about that issue. There's been mental illness in my family, but then as a nation, we've been, I think one of the current statistics are over 7,000 U.S. veterans are dying of suicide every year. And I think the reason for that, at least in terms of my experience, and this, of course, without any scientific information to back it up, but, I live in Los Angeles, which is the hippie, dippy, capital of the world, where you can ask for help presumably anytime. And I had trouble, going for help to be hospitalized at a point when I was at risk to myself, and because it was so shameful. And I am thinking of doing like a new app where it's like a travel guide for psych wards, because there is a real difference in quality between the psych wards. Yes. Yeah,
so
you're out of it, so it's
a TripAdvisor.
A TripAdvisor kind of thing. Because it's a miserable, awful experience, but sometimes it's, there's some that are better than others, so I thought that would be funny and fun, because there is such shame around going. I had a really hard time finding anything of where to go or how, or information on it.
And you're not exactly in your right mind, so to speak, to make that decision in the moment.
You're feeling terrible,
you're feeling
and
desperate. But so when you bring these issues up on stage, and in this particular case in front of your parents, what are you doing there? Are you telling them things that you don't feel like you can tell them off stage?
No, they know the whole thing. And my mom has had manic episodes, so she's been hospitalized before. So they have only been supportive and yeah. I mean, sometimes I guess yeah. I think. I do a little bit of passive aggressive stuff. Like I had a friend who was very spiritual, came to visit me in the hospital, and it has that belief where, you know, when you say, "Oh, I have the flu," and somebody says, "You know, I just don't get sick anymore since I started standing in my truth," you know, and it's like, oh, come on. And I had a friend visit me in the psych ward saying, you know, "Maria, this place is just so negative. You know, you gotta get out of here." And I'm like, yeah, I would, but my brain's going off like a jackhammer untethered, and they 5150'd me and took away my shoelaces. No, you need to get into nature, like go up to Big Sur, right? Like so I can get off a cliff, or like go slowly into a cold bottle of water and never to be found. You know, I just think maybe it's your time. You want to move on to the next world, you know, and so I've come in to say goodbye. You're ready to move on. Okay, you're horrible, and please come visit me tomorrow. And you're horrible. Hey, why don't you bring that little ray of sunshine over to the children's hospital? You wouldn't have to make a wish if you believed. You know, like, I mean, that
is horrible.
But that's a very classic thing
Yeah.
that either people put it into terms of, you know, like you can get yourself out of it. It's not a genuine illness. It's a moral failing, and or the moral failing as in spirituality, like, oh, you're just, you know, you're blocking you know, you're not being honest with yourself about some thing, which I go, well, there are some elements of that may be helpful. But at the point that somebody has a plan and is gonna,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. And that the brain isn't an organ like any other part of the body that can malfunction.
Right. Well, Maria Bamford, thank you for coming in.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And check out Maria Bamford on the new Arrested Development in the spring. And also, you can download the special online.